Punctured my eardrums twice. Imagine having your eardrums, both of them, blown out. And if you don't speak when the weaponry is going, then the weaponry gets stronger and intensifies. And when you do speak, they turn it down. You see, it's like a Pavlovian conditioning. And this is now all done by computer. I speak for, to stop the pain, and the other is for legitimate people listening in, to at least have this document about what's going on. But you should know all the plane crashes, all the train crashes, massive car pileups, that's them. They're using HARP and all of this weaponry, this technology, just to create all this chaos and tragedy. So I wanted people to know some of the stuff that they say. It's taunting. They have a little anamnesis on you, and they try to focus on something that would upset you. They play tapes of them torturing my son, and they'll say certain things over and over and over and over again. And, it's all through these just mass murdering criminal sociopaths. It makes you really angry because nobody is doing their job. And for me, I watch them. I've seen them kill nothing but vets, soldiers, state workers, federal workers, anybody missing a Gary from the DOD at the Albany Federal Building, because they sawed him up in the apartment above me in Albany. I was mortified. I was just homicidal mass murderers. I'm a tough cookie. I come from New York. I worked years in social work and psychiatric and mental health, and I did a lot of volunteer work, and I've gone to places in the city where you'd never see a cop and you'd never see an emergency responder. And I've seen some pretty gruesome stuff, but this is worse. I mean, this is just sadism from criminal sociopaths that were supposed to be put to death. And some of them will pretend to be crazy, but they're not. And they're doing this identity switcheroo with people. They're stealing people's identities, where you'll maybe keep your name, but you're going to get their history. They steal all my medical equipment. I have severe disabilities, and I have multiple sclerosis and heart problems. I'm supposed to have heart surgery. I mean, I could not list out everything that's been done to me. I would need a huge team to list it all out. But you should know the stuff that they say. You should know that they have planned all these attacks. It's all them. And there's tons of evidence out there. So you have to say, what the hell is your government doing? And as for your government, these people kill cops. They kill senators. They kill presidents. They don't give a damn. And what is, I guess, mind-boggling to me is if I had directed energy weapons, I could kill them. It's not hard to get rid of them. I think this is what FDR meant about this crew, that half the game is fear. It's not that big a crew. And all of them have already been sentenced to death a long time ago. So I'm just floored. What kind of people let this happen? People just to be mercilessly tortured. If you wonder why I don't break down and cry anymore, because you get to the point where you've been tortured so much and your child's been tortured so much. Day to day is just trying to survive the torture and get somebody to respond. You cry so much you can't cry anymore. There's nothing left. You're just dead inside, or you're so close to death. My goal in living is just to get me and my son and get out of here. America, you don't rein this in. I would not blame the rest of the world if they were to wipe you off the map. This is an easy crew to get rid of. And to be so overtly negligent and just let them commit genocide and kill good people, that's outrageous. These are the same people that do terrorism all over. And I know the type. And I've come across them at the highest levels of economic hitmen, at the lowest levels of creatures like Nancy Varian, homicidal mass murderers. And this weaponry is so dangerous, especially the mind control stuff, and you know how they'll manipulate people, but there's a sacred boundary, and that's the life of a child. And it's human life, you know, innocent life. There's no excuse. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to try and do this in 2 or 3 parts. First, I really need to have a criminal justice or Department of Justice and military, very aggressive response to help me and to help my son. All of the criminal psychopaths behind 9/11, they will not leave me alone. They will not stop torturing me. I would need an actual legal team. I was supposed to meet with the Attorney General for the state of New York, the head of the Organized Crime Task Force. I want this garbage taken out once and for all. This freak show of evil has been torturing me my whole life. It ebbs and it flows. And I was made a national security witness because of the stupid lineage and the stupid Star Wars and the stupid Armageddon agenda. And I need a large, substantial team that we can. I have a lot of evidence. There's a lot of people that have tons of evidence. But I need a substantial team put together so we can hunt this crap down and finally kill it. I do hope you have shoot-to-kill orders. It's about time that we just hunt this garbage down and take it out for good. They never stop torturing me and my son. I'm a major, major national security witness. And what I'm witness to is the original plans for 9/11 were planned for 1999, not 2001. If you know anything about Islam, 99 is very significant. It's the 99 divine names of Allah, and 19 obviously for the 19 hijackers. What I was witness to, this was in the 90s. I was pulled into a private chat room called Da Vinci's Exile, and I thought, oh, that's a kind of coincidental title. And basically it was Dar Jamal that pulled me into this private chat room. And I have to understand I worked 17 years in psychiatric and mental health. And my forte was working with kids involved in cults and gangs and radical religious sects. And I saw kids crying out, and I checked it out. I was in there for about 2 years. The one in charge of everything wanted to check me out, and I chatted with him for about a year because I wanted to make sure the information I was getting was accurate. You never want to falsely accuse anybody. I actually reported it. It was a hokey, primitive hijacking. They said attacks by air near the UN. They talked about, obviously, attacking the Pentagon. And then I think it was the White House or Congress. I have a disk. I have a flash drive. My disks are out all over the world. Actually, some good FBI helped me get my disks out in 2005. And they have documents on there, computer-generated documents that go back several years. Anyway, the thing was the attacks were planned for 99. Eric Holder did not shut down the CIA Bin Laden unit. That could only be done by the CIA director or the President of the United States, and that was William Jefferson Clinton. I think for Eric Holder, it's the usual standard setup. You have to understand that Bill Clinton is an evil, brutal psychopath. That's from Ted Gunderson, FBI director, legend and hero, who was the best FBI director that this country never got to have because he wasn't a sellout scumbag. Then you have to ask, why is Louis Freeh, the FBI director, under Bill Clinton? Why is he legal counsel for Prince Bandar, is it, at the House of Saud? That's a little suspect, don't you think? Anyway, the planned attacks were for 99. I reported it in 98. I have the Excite company provide the DNS numbers and the IP address. Another girl named Bug Girl, I had her go to her local FBI, but she got patted on the head. That was her moniker name, Bug Girl. I think it was Minnesota, and that brings in Colleen Rowley. And they just blew smoke up Colleen Rowley's ass. And the thing was that Robert Mueller headed up the Northern California Federal Prosecutor's Office in 1998. And they can put the kibosh on any FBI investigation. And apparently they did. I mean, obviously they did. And what happened was it got postponed, plotted, and planned for 2001. It was fairly convenient that George W. Bush wasn't there that day. And this is all part of Star Wars. This is all this aggressive nonsense. It's about doing stuff that's been done for centuries, and it's done by truly deranged people. It's a fascist agenda. It's an organized crime agenda. It's an organized crime family. We don't have a capitalistic system here. We never did. We had glimpses of it. And we don't have communism or socialism. What we have is fascism. We have a fascist plutocratic oligarchy. That's the problem in the West. And the problem is with the internet and telecommunications the way that they are, they're all freaking out. You know, the way they control people is through controlling all information. But there were reasons I was pulled into this. My son's father, I found out he's a Project Artichoke victim. And I found out later that he was involved, but I'll talk about that in the second part. So basically, that's what I'm witness to, but I'm a powerful witness. I do have evidence and all. The problem was that it was originally planned for 1999, and it was postponed, plotted, and planned for 2001. And that brings in Dianne Feinstein, that brings in Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Mueller. He was rewarded with the FBI directorship, and their defense contractors. Obviously, the Bushes had some knowledge of this, and the baton is being passed from good old boys, fascist, oligarchy, these control modalities, to now your new age narcissist, but it's running a tighter ship, and it's a scarier ship. So basically that's what I'm witness to, and that's why I've been targeted so aggressively. I'll continue with the part 2 and maybe a part 3 to this. Okay, thank you. Hi, it's Deborah Ann Weber. I'm going to call this one Part 1A, Witness